All right, we saw Aidan O'Connell play a game. It looked good for a bit, right? The first half I thought was very good. You're going to hear me talk a lot about the positives early on, and then kind of the second half happened. And really, I think, Dolphins defense played very well. Jalen Ramsey played very well. We'll get into all of that. But yeah, let's talk about the good that was there and then the bad that happened as well. Let's start off with this play. What's going to happen here is it's going to be, a concept that I think is a pretty interesting one. It's kind of like what you see relatively frequently of this rub route. You have a receiver run over the middle to try and clear out space for the tight end who's running out towards the flat, so towards the bottom of the screen. But to kind of have a double rub route in a sense, multiple receivers going over the middle. Again, it is something you'll see, but it's a way to try to help clear up more space. And watch how, those first two receivers, Renfro and it's Jacoby Myers was the other one, both doing a good job of trying to clear out that over the middle space. I believe this was man coverage, but with some switches. Xavier Howard is not a guy trying to make sure he covers Michael Mayer, the tight end. Howard not really doing a great job of reading this play and getting in very quickly. So play concept itself working well, and that's the first thing you want to see, right? If you're wondering, can a quarterback run an offense? Well, first, there has to be an offense to run, right? There has to be plays that you can make, and there certainly is on this one. So for O'Connell, can he make the throw? The answer to that is yes. This is something he's doing a good job of, right? Is when guys are getting open, when there's windows to hit, for the most part, with some exceptions, he is hitting those windows. And that's what you want to see first and foremost. Can you just look like an NFL quarterback? And the answer to that is yes. But also heading over here, it's an expression, but it's an expression for a reason. Sometimes it's about the throws you don't make, right? A play like this, you have several different routes you could look towards. You have more deeper routes, and then you have more underneath routes in the zone coverage. Obviously, you'd like to push the ball down the field. You'd love a touchdown here if you can get it. O'Connell is going to take the snap. He, does look down the field a bit, but neither one of those routes are open. Now, Davante Adams, the one closest towards the top of the screen, kind of looks open, and maybe you could take that chance, but there's Miami players over the middle. That feels too risky to me. I like not making that throw. I don't even think O'Connell was looking there. I think O'Connell was looking towards Myers, but that one clearly not open. Plenty of traffic there. So for O'Connell, do the smart thing. As you see, he's going to flip it to Hunter Renfro. Only goes for a couple of yards, and in fact, there was offensive pass interference on that play, so it didn't even matter. But again, to me, these are really important plays. Finding ways to turn what, some quarterbacks would have as, a play that would get you just 2nd and 10, but instead of having it be 2nd and 7, well, these little things add up over the course of a game, and they can be the difference in sometimes, 7 points in a football game potentially. So being able to do this and make this happen is incredibly important, and it's, good to see a young quarterback do it, because if you can't do these types of things, it really hurts you and makes an offense really difficult to run. Not to mention the obvious fact of, if he tried to push the ball down the field, there was potential of not just an incompletion, like I was saying, but maybe a turnover, and that would be a, disaster. So definitely doing the right stuff, Aidan O'Connell is on plays like this. Of course, there's this play, which if you, watched the game, you knew this play was going to be talked about. The deep shot to Davante Adams. It's zone coverage here, quarters coverage. You have Adams running a deeper route over the middle. That's the way this play is designed to work. But what's interesting about it is because Adams' route is a deeper route. It's the one starting on the bottom of the screen and moving towards the top of the screen. But because of that, since it's going from the offense's right to the offense's left, that means that for the two safeties deep, you have to be aware of how this could potentially work. Watch as you're going to see O'Connell, he runs a play action, he throws down the field, and the safeties on this play, the defensive backs in general, were just a half step slow in picking up Adams. They let Adams get behind them, and that's never something you want to see. Still, though, it's not wide open separation. There's a window, for sure. There's a window, but it's going to take a good pass to complete this. And this isn't a good pass. It's a perfect pass. Watch that incredible throw from Aidan O'Connell to get a touchdown on that play. And again, that's another thing you just want to see from a young quarterback, right? Is if there is a window to make a big play, can you make that big play? The first play was, hey, if there's a window to make a fine play, can you make that? That's kind of the first test. But this is maybe the second test. If there's a big opportunity, can you make these types of plays? Because in today's NFL, it's hard to win a game without at least hitting on one of these, right? So the fact that O'Connell hit on this throw is certainly something that if you are a believer in Aidan O'Connell long term, it's something to get you excited about. There's no getting around it. This one was a mistake from O'Connell. It's a zone coverage play, and you have a route that could work. You have a man in motion who's going to try and get into a gap in coverage towards the offense's left. It's Trey Tucker. That is the receiver who's going to be running this route. And I'm going to actually change the camera angle. This angle will give us a better shot at what actually is happening. So, we'll watch this. But, I've also highlighted a corner. The corner who's on that side of the field is Jalen Ramsey, who is, still maybe the best corner in football. Gotta be aware of him. Right when this play begins, it's right here that O'Connell is making his decision. This is around when he's making his decision, and you can see why, right? Tucker does have the inside leverage. To me, this is just one of those examples of guys are just so much better at the NFL level, and then Jalen Ramsey is another level above those guys, right? So he can make plays that, quite frankly, O'Connell just has never seen a corner be able to make, and because of that, these are the learning experiences you kind of have to have as a rookie, really. O'Connell makes this throw, and again, in college, that's a completion all day long, but when you have someone like Ramsey who can have that kind of closing speed, I mean, it's tough, right? It's an incredible play by Ramsey. To me, that's the main takeaway I have, but these are also, to me, this is why you don't throw to Ramsey when, it's Trey Tucker who's trying to get open underneath Ramsey, right? That's just not a good decision for that reason. The actual, leverage and all that stuff, I think was fine. It's more so just you got to know number 5 for the for the Dolphins. You got to stay away. But there were just too many mistakes in the second half, really from the third quarter on. It looked a little better in the fourth quarter. They were able to get some drives going, but even if they didn't result in points. But this one would be a missed throw on a flea flicker, just a bit too far for Adams. This one a bit more of a worse missed throw, as that one, Adams ended up kind of giving up at a certain point. And then this one, the 4th down and 6 play where he just held onto the ball for too long. And again, it's a rookie mistake. The interception at the end, who cares? You're trying to make something happen. But it shouldn't have gotten to that point, I don't think. You had an opportunity on that play. You have to, to just throw it up. Gotta give the receiver a chance there. He waited until it was too late, and he never really got a throw off. These are in many ways young player mistakes, but they are young player mistakes you have to, get out of your system in a hurry. And again, for a player like O'Connell, who wasn't a massively hyped up prospect, you just don't get the time that, someone who is a first overall pick gets. Trevor Lawrence went into the league and looked terrible year 1, but they're still going to give him a second year because he's Trevor Lawrence, because of the prospect that he was entering the league. For O'Connell, when you're not that prospect, you kind of don't get as much time to make these rookie mistakes, and he's going to have to get him out of his system now, basically, if he's going to be a starter for a long time. That's how I view all of this stuff. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.